Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to TCTC Time. I'm your host, Isaac Turner. To start today, we have a math segment with Mr. Summers.
Hi, I'm Mr. Summers, and welcome to this math segment of TCTC Time called Math Around the World. So I'm going to talk a little bit right now about the Fibonacci sequence. So Fibonacci was an Italian mathematician back in the day, and he is famous for the Fibonacci sequence. So the Fibonacci sequence works like this. We're going to start with 1 and 1, and we're going to add those numbers together. And then it continues by adding the last two numbers that you had together. So we would start with 1 and 1 and get 2. Then we would add 1 to 2 and get 3. Then we'd add 2 to 3 and get 5. And it keeps going infinitely in that pattern. Now, the interesting part about it is not just getting the numbers. It's about what you end up with after you keep going with this pattern over and over again. So it converges on a number that gives us a ratio. And this ratio is what we call the golden ratio. Now, the golden ratio is what we have behind everything that we consider to be like aesthetically pleasing. So think about the aspect ratio of your television, right? Everybody's TV's a rectangle, but did you ever think about like where those dimensions came from for the rectangle? That ratio is the golden ratio from the Fibonacci sequence. So it just so happens that humans, when we look at something, find that ratio pleasing. And it's not just in the aspect ratio of things like TVs, we can also find it in what we call the golden spiral. So those same rectangles from the golden ratio create this golden spiral by cutting rectangles into smaller and smaller pieces using that ratio. So you would take a rectangle, you go over by this proportion, and then you would cut it. Then we're going to rotate it and do the same thing again. And you keep doing this, and you use this to draw a spiral. Now this spiral is what we call the golden spiral, and that spiral we find in things like when you watch a movie and you look at where someone's positioned in the film. They are at the center of that golden spiral. So all of that thanks to a crazy Italian mathematician back in the day called Fibonacci.
Next, we have an inside look at Equestrian Studies program with this program insider.
Hi, my name is Jacob Terry.
My name is Alexa Atchison.
And I'm in the Equestrian Studies program.
And I'm in the Equestrian Studies program.
The aspects of equine that surprise me the most are definitely the different personalities that each horse can have. There's not one horse that acts the same. They're all their own person. They're all like people. You know, it's just, I feel like, to me, they're just people but bigger.
I've always loved horses and wanted to take the opportunity to advance my understanding of them and just learn about the equine industry in general.
My students can leave with we do an ICIV project or an ICIV online course, and it's a it's a national certification in horse judging as well as veterinary medicine practices. So they get 2 certifications that way. My name is Ms. Street, and I teach the Equestrian Studies program here at TCTC. I enjoy seeing the students progress with the horses. I love being around the students and the horses. I think the really fun thing is seeing them develop as horsemen in the barn each day and like have light bulb moments where they really get to figure out new things.
Typical day for us, we have about an hour to an hour and a half of in-class instruction time, and then after our instruction, we come out into the barn and do barn management, which we clean our stalls, manage the feed, sweep our aisleway, make sure our barn's clean in general, and then once all of that stuff is done, we get the privilege of riding our school horses that we have here.
After high school, I'm going to Lake Erie College for their equine therapeutic horsemanship program, and I'm also going to minor in their equine fitness and rehabilitation program.
Very nice. Thanks for tuning in, and special thanks to everyone who makes this episode possible. Hope you have an amazing day, and we'll see you next time on TCTC Time as we close off with Ain't No Way.
And it was election week. It's the reason all Americans have the right to watch TCTC Time each week.